Welcome back to the Smugsy Show. I'm Smugsy, your host. Every Wednesday we meet here to talk about important things and important people. This week's show is called My Mea Culpa, live with Kirk Minihane. What's changed? But first, a word from our sponsor, Smug Ciggies, sleek and elegant joint ciggies made with organic cannabis, rolled in all natural, locally sourced paper. Look for Smug Ciggies in the pretty indigo and marigold packs. Hopefully some of you caught my special appearance on the Kirk Minihane Show yesterday. August 2nd's show. It's titled You Can Handle It, and it's 2 hours, 6 minutes, 44 seconds into the show. I called in. I mentioned last week that part of my labyrinth, if you will, following the journey that I took out west physically, 5,600 miles driving in a pickup truck, seeing our beautiful United States of America and answering a lot of questions. But the metaphoric journey as well, wanting to close the loop on things when I got back. And when I did get back, I spotted a New England cottontail, and that was just a magical moment because it basically confirmed that what I need and want is right in front of my eyes. And in the vein of that sort of karma closing the loop, wanted to apologize to the Kirk Minihane Show. And so that's what I did. I called in, and the show picked up. And I said, so, hey, Kirk, I heard, you'd be mini golfing in Maine. Do you need some fans? And he's like, sure. I think it's a public event. Justin confirmed it's a public event. And I said, well, I don't know if you got the message. I know Dave's been busy with the wedding, but I sent a message asking for forgiveness. Did you get the message? And then Blind Mike, on the show, you'll hear it. He says, oh boy, oh boy. And there's like a tension, like you could, almost cut it with a knife. And it was like me kind of just popping in the show at that moment. It was a little bit like Nancy Pelosi just sort of landing in that jet in Taiwan. Just imagine, I don't have a pink suit, but if I did, I wish I did. I would be wearing it right now, a nice pink suit on the show. And Kirk says, who is this? And I laughed, and Blind Mike says, I thought I knew who it was. And I said, well, I'm the villain of the show who you and Blind Mike blocked, and I'm clawing my way back for my family. That was the quote. I'm clawing my way back for my family. And I'd hoped that would be, enough to send the message about what the purpose of the call was, right? I mean, I think most of you recall that I have factions in my family who are Minifans. They're nuts. Some of them are ashamed. Some of them are scared about what's what happened between me and the show. And I don't want there to be that tension. So I want to nip it in the bud and just be friends. Why can't we be friends? So I said, I'm clawing my way back for my family because I have an upcoming family event where one of the family members in particular would be very happy if I did what I did, and that's why I did it, if you know what I mean. Mike then says, Blind Mike, the villain of the show who we think about a lot, Smugsy. And that's when I was like, like a swoosh, like a three-pointer. I knew, okay, I just won. I mean, I scored. If Blind Mike can hear my voice and identify me by name as Smugsy, that means I'm somebody on the show. And I think my family That's got to be good enough, I think. So I felt at that point already in the call, this is just like a few seconds in, that like a mission had been accomplished, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be Smugsy, okay? I mean, Kirk can't even bring himself to say it. It's not my idea. It was Steve Robinson's idea. Okay, this whole thing was not my idea, but I took what I was given and I ran with it. So back to the phone call, Kirk then says, "Oh, who is this? I don't know. Oh, God, Jesus, God," he says. Like, if that's not an epiphany, I don't know what is. So Kirk has this epiphany, right? He remembers. He says, "Sure, you're welcome, to the mini golf event." And then, I don't know, Justin, I think, tries to pivot. It says something about, like, obviously, and they have some conversation about obviously, who I might add, Miss. I thought I liked obviously, and I liked Mrs. Obviously. I don't know about the son. But then Kirk says, "Whoever wants to, show up, show up." Then he says, "God, I legitimately forgot about that person," meaning me. And I get it. I mean, he's old. Kirk Minihane has his memories, like, and you're thinking, yeah, but aren't you older? But because women have longevity, okay, we have longer lifespans. So in dog years, that means we're younger. So he did forget that person existed. And then Justin starts saying, enemy number one. And I was like, okay. I mean, you're right. But then this is like I think the meat of it, if you know what I mean. Like, if you're like an insider, Dave Cullinane is busting a gut laughing. Okay, he thinks this whole conversation is very funny. Okay, he's laughing his head off. Now, meanwhile, I had been cut off at that point on the phone call, so I wasn't aware until I listened to the show of what was said after I'd been cut off. I wasn't aware that Dave Cullinane was laughing so hysterically. And Blind Mike says, "Yeah, I like people's mental illness where they think they are so on your mind." I thought that was a good way of putting it. And then Mike says, yeah. Kirk says, yeah, like, what happened? I think it was just more like an annoyance, wasn't it? I mean, what happened? He says, yeah, whatever, good luck. Dave then says, he finally, gets his composure, after laughing so hysterically, and he says, it seems like things have changed. And it was kind of like a pregnant pause. I mean, it wasn't too long because the whole clip was like less than 2 minutes, but and Kirk says, yeah, I guess it's weird how that works. And then Mike says again, the villain of the show. So there you have it. I mean, I think forever now, in the annals of the Kirk Minihane Show museum of characters, Smugsy's in. Okay, the villain of the show. And that's great. I'm grateful. And as a token of my appreciation, I would like to offer my studio here. If the show ever needs a place, you're welcome. Everyone's welcome. I think the reason why I'm a good fit for the villain of the show despite the fact that I might be done for the season, is because of my family values. That's what it boils down to. I was doing this for my family. I know Dave is at a wedding this weekend with his family, and some of my family members might be there. And I've got a lot riding on just sort of kind of putting this whole thing to bed. And let's just say what's changed is Chris Clemmer, right? I mean, Kirk hates him so much that he doesn't remember that he used to hate me, which is fine with me because I'm not that annoying. I mean, I don't know how you could listen to Chris Clemmer's voice and not think that he's annoying. Okay? And now, see, he's not welcome to go to mini golf where I am, and I'm not going, but that doesn't mean it's nice, it's not nice to be asked, even though I'm not going. So I think in the big scheme of things, there's a lot of progress. For this show, we're still on a mission to fight for Zelensky and to protect the New England cottontail rabbit, the metaphor for the Ukrainians, to certainly have peace, have peace with everybody, including the Kirk Minihane Show. It's good to be back in the fold. It's going to be a big relief this summer with my family. And we'll see. We'll see what happens next time. I hope you follow, subscribe, leave a comment, and until next time, this is Smugsy Girl signing off. Take care.